All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. Welcome to another episode, another Sunday conversation. We're so happy that the Lord of Spirit of our life to come back here another Sunday, and we're just really excited. Well, I am excited, so we're just gonna, as usual, we're just gonna have fun, and we're just gonna just educate, motivate, and the whole goal is to inspire everyone that able to join this program. So with no further word, obviously everyone know that I am Ian Weekly. I was lucky enough to make only one Olympics, but so since I only make one tonight or this evening, you're gonna, I'm gonna hear some of the good old days, some of the things that I, missed, what it's like to be a multiple Olympian because, to make it to one, you always feel like, okay, I'm going to make another one. It's easy, especially when you make the first one at a young age, you start counting on your fingers that, yeah, I got 3 or 4 or 5 more Olympics. So we're going to get some knowledge from Sandie because she made her first Olympics in 1988. And, you know, I have never met a five-time Olympian in my life, so guys, this is a history-making moment. You're gonna be able to see what it's like and just to hear what the legend have to say. So before no further word, I'm just gonna hand you over to Mr. Ian Thomas, the health and wellness specialist.
Well, I must say good night to everyone that will be joining us here tonight because I am so happy. I can't tell you how much I am overwhelmed to be in the presence of these two amazing Olympians, especially Sandie Richards, five-time Olympian, as Ian would have said. That tell you a lot about the person, work determination, and just to be able to be in the company, even though it's a virtual. We're so happy that we can even invite you guys on. So to all our audience who will be watching tonight, who will be watching later on, we just want to say welcome to this platform, Ian and Ian. I also want to say a big thank you to Ian to actually come up with the idea that we should actually get together and put on something as inspiring as this. And in so doing, since the start of it, we've been able to bring on so many athletes, and I'm talking world class athlete, Olympians. We have been able to bring on doctors, musicians, artists. We bring on people from all walks of life, and you never can tell when it's your time next in line. So you may just be next in line for your blessing, whether you get it from the program itself or you be on here to just bless somebody else. So tonight we just want to say, we are pleased to have here Sandie Richard, as Ian would say, five-time Olympian. We let her get into all of that. But we just want to say welcome, Sandie, to this platform. Thank you for spending this afternoon with us here.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, guys. So again, as usual, everyone want to know about the Olympics, but it's a lot more before the Olympics. We all always want to know. We'll see the glory of competing in the Olympics, but as a former athlete, Olympics start many years ago. I mean, so we're just so happy and fortunately that with no injury and having a good year, and obviously the Olympics is every 4 years. So think about 5 Olympics. That's 20 years. So we got a lot to cover. So we're just gonna go right into it. So Sandie, we just want you to just tell us about where are you from in Jamaica? What parish, and just to give us a little history about your little community. That I know you're a legend in your community, and just tell us a little bit about where Sandie Richards was originated from.
Well, I'm from the parish of Clarendon, up in the hills of Clarendon, Sutton's district. Yeah, there's two forepass in Clarendon. There's Chapelton forepass and there's Mappin forepass. So I'm from Chapelton forepass. And I was born in forepass and grew up in Sutton's. So it's a little road when you go into the square. Jamaica's full of little roads and paths. So I grew up in Sutton's district. And I went to Clarendon Woodall College School, Minister Portia Simpson is from Woodall, so I take, we have a lot of people from Clarendon. Herb McKinley,
Oh,
yeah. So
see.
there's a lot of us from the Clarendon areas. So I'm from the hills of Clarendon.
All right. Well, it's
Went to
good to
Clarendon College as well.
Well, it's good to know that I already start learning, guys. I just learned about two ambassador of Jamaica, Portia Simpson and Herb McKinley. So just want to give a shout out to both on this program. So Sandie, I know you said you talk about your all age school, but we just want to get right into it to find out when did you actually start running? What was that like, and how did it all started? I mean, do you remember a moment when, that, I know it's a long time, but do you remember
I
the
I
moment or the
remember. I
day?
remember.
Okay.
I started at 9 actually, because as Jamaicans, we have sports in school, whether it's the little kids running around and sports day and stuff like that. So that's how I started running and winning everything at the age of 9. I didn't know that I was gonna go further with it, but I like winning and getting those cakes and medals that they give to us at the end of it. With we have like the Higgins spoon race, and we have the crocus bag races and stuff like that. So that was a fun time. And then I went on from there to Woodall All Age School, and we Woodall All Age School, and then I walked to school every day, a couple of miles, maybe probably 6 miles and to and from, so 12 miles total. So walk up
Wow.
the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, and it's nothing to us because that's all we know, and it was fun.
All
And
right.
I don't know if that helped me some, but I start running. We have in Woodall we have sports day, and those were huge. So I used to beat all the guys and stuff like that again. And there was a teacher who took an interest in me and said, "Oh, she can run," something like that. And his name was Mr. Junior. He's passed on now, and he start, sending him to other schools to race with other people, and that's how it started.
All right. All right. Awesome. So before we get into the running, I got to ask you a question about the name Sandy. Uh, I want to know who gave you that name, or which one of your family members declared that name, or how did that came along?
I heard it was my mom. Remember, I
Oh,
was a kid, so I don't know. So I have to believe
okay.
it's her. They told me, my aunt told me it's my mother. And growing up, I thought my name was Angela because that I grew up with the name Angela, and that's my middle name. So they call me
Wow.
Angela. Yeah. So when I
Okay.
went to school, I found out my name was Sandy Angela, not Angela Sandy.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I grew up till this day. My family call me Angela. If they call me Sandy, it takes a while for me to react because I don't know who they're talking. So I'm used to the track world calling me Sandy, but my family call me Angela.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's very unique. So if somebody call you by a name, they gotta by Angela, they gotta really know you.
yeah, yeah. Those are my family.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, awesome, awesome. So my next question is, so let's talk about how did you end up at Clarendon College because you was running at all age school, you was doing well. Why Clarendon College, or was there any other school interested at the time? I know Clarendon have a lot of schools,
Their
but
technical was, but
okay.
there was an uh, coach at Clarendon College named Mr. Green. I don't know if anyone remember Mr. Green. It was a white gentleman from Clarendon College who go around to the little Orleans school and look for athletes, right, to bring to Clarendon College. And then they have those past students like Lottie Watts and those people who are past students that try to build the football and track program as well. They look for the talents. And then, they convinced me. So I went to Clarendon over Beer Technical.
All right. Well, obviously, you made a great choice. I know that it was a privilege for you to run against Veer Technical in those days.
I know you, but Beer was a bit. I'm the oldest of seven, so Beer was like further as well. I could walk to Clarendon College if I don't have any money to go to school. I couldn't walk to Beer Technical, is what I'm saying. So it was easier for me to go to Clarendon College as well.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna take pause. Over to you, Ian.
All right, Sandy, as I say, man, I just want to congratulate you on all those achievements, all those medals that you have collected. I was going through, was it last night, and I just screenshot a whole list. And I'm like, man, this lady been collecting medals like from, I think you start running for Jamaica at 13 years old. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And you've been collecting medals from then till now. But I know in everything there must be somebody who have aspire you or a role model for you, early childhood role model. Who would that have been?
It's funny. I don't look at people as role models because they'll disappoint you. So I take from what the good that a lot of people have done and put it with mine to make me a person that I want to be. But I have people that give me motivation, if you want to call it that. I had my sisters, first of all, they always encourage me, not my mom and dad so much, but my sisters. And then I have the school teachers and the coaches at Clarendon College, and as I said, Woodall. They were always, because I was still a little poor girl from Clarendon with my parents have no money or anything. So I look up to the adults who I think, can be of an influence in my life or take the good from them, like Mr. Junior. And when you go to Clarendon College, you had um, uh, the Mr. Orton, Constantine Orton. He went to Veer after a while. Yeah,
Oh.
so those people encouraged me. And I just soak everything up from different people. And because I think when you have role models, of course, I look up to Merlin and those that was running, but I didn't know I was going to the Olympics or anything. So I didn't say, oh my God, I'm going to train and go to the Olympics. It just started clicking into place, and I just go with the flow.
All right, thank you. This question I probably wouldn't have asked you if you hadn't said it, and I have heard you said this before, and you refer to yourself as a little poor girl from Clarendon, from the one bedroom.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us a little more about you growing up in your community, what life was like?
Life is what we make it back in the day, it's all we know, right? So you don't look for something else that you don't know. So sometimes we have no food, sometimes we have food, sometimes we have no shoes, sometimes we have shoes. It's what we knew at the time. But then we have a mother that was always there for us, whether she was positive or negative, we know that we have someone. So, we didn't look for anything else. We just lived day to day. I plant my little garden as a kid. I go help my mom when I couldn't go to school, cross the river to work for the government to get my own little money at a young age. So I think some of that is good and bad. It's bad that it was so hard, but it's good that it instilled work ethics and hard work habits in me. Maybe that's why I made it to 5 Olympics. I think that's the background that helped me.
Thank you for that. And with that, I just want to say thanks for sharing. I'll turn you right back over to Ian.
All right. Thank you again. So we're going to get right into a little bit of the high school days. I know, I know it's a long time, but we promise we're going to keep it, very simple. But Sandy, just tell us what was it like, back in your time competing at girls champ. What was the memory? What can you remember was the most outstanding moment you going to Kingston, traveling on
Mhm.
the bus up there to the national stadium?
I rem- we used to take those. I remember they were taking me to the stadium to compete before, and I went on the bus in Four Pass with the red stripe beer in my hand. And, the yeah. I said, it's my tea, so I need some tea. So because, when you drink beer, it makes you burp, so to speak. So that was my tea. And Mr. Otten said, where are you going with that? I said, well, I didn't eat this morning. So my uncle who owns a shop in the square gave me a red stripe beer. So that's one of my fun memories going to the national stadium. But we used to go and stay in the stadium. We stayed up on this, I think the third floor. There was rooms up there, so that's where we used to stay sometimes to compete the next day. Because most of the country schools did not have much money to get hotels, and so the past student usually help us to stay somewhere. But mainly we stayed in that stadium on the third floor because we put those little cots and
Yeah.
beds in there for us. And I remember it was separated at that time. Boys and girls championship was two different times, so it wasn't as fun as it is now. But I just remember winning the 200 and the 400 at champs to my last year, and they put me in the 800 after to get points, and I threw myself down in the side. I did, but I remember winning. I hate losing, so I just remember that whenever I go to champs, there's always Sandie Richards going to win the four, and I make sure I come through. But going to the stadium was always fun. It was always fun. We think that we just like leaving Clarendon and driving to Kingston because it was a big thing back in the day to just drive to Kingston and you're going to compete. Then you're one of the maybe the best one in your school or who's going to score all the points. We may not win champs, but guess what? I get the most points. So that was fun for me.
Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, thanks for that. So my next follow-up question would be, what event, when you started out, I know for many, young athletes, they mainly like to run the 100, 200. What event was your favorite back then in high school?
Yeah, well, I used to run the 2, the 4, the 8. I couldn't stand the 800. I can do long jump, I do shot put, whatever they asked me to do, I would have, but then the 400 sticks out because I always win that. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a 400 runner. That's how I came about running the 4 because I've never lost in the 400 in high school. So, but I always lose the 2 and the 8. So I told them that's what I want to do. I want to do the 400.
Okay, all right, awesome.
Yeah.
So just for some of the viewers, so tell us what years did you go to Clarendon College?
Oh man, 19. I came here. I got a scholarship to UT in 1986. So I'm gonna reverse it backwards, which is 85, 84, 83. I think 83.
Okay,
Somewhere there. I left school 1 year. I could have gone back to Clarendon College one more year. So I left 1 year early.
okay,
I left
okay,
at 16. I was 16 years old.
okay.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, so I'm just gonna move on about you representing Jamaica as a junior. So if you could remember your first time representing Jamaica, like I'm assuming that you got on a plane and fly somewhere. Tell us
Yeah,
how
I
was that
think we went to the
experience?
Bahamas, the
Okay,
Character Games. It's the 1983, 82, somewhere around there. So the Bahamas are the Character Games. That was my first time representing Jamaica to the Character Games.
all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay, awesome. All right, so just to summarize your junior career, what was your biggest memory running for Jamaica as a junior, competing back then?
The World Junior Championships when it's 1986
Six.
in Athens.
Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
1986
I
in
hope I get
Athens.
that right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was a group of us went, and I was the only one that medal in the 400. We have no more medal. We Jamaica got one medal, and that was from me. So that stand out.
All right, guys. So you heard it here that Sandy been winning medals from the junior level. And a lot of times, when we look back on her legacy, I know that we don't even count those medals because we're counting a lot of the senior medals. But she won a medal as a junior in 1986. So I'm gonna get you back over to Ian, and then I'm gonna pick up on your college career when you come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
No sound.
Okay, sorry
Okay, there
about
you
that.
go.
Okay, Sandy, before you get too far in, what I really want to know is what motivates you, to do as well as you have done over the years, to just continue going. You know, you seem like you're like an energizer body. You never slow down.
Well,
Keep going.
first of all, track is my life. It still is my life. I still try to jog. Even my knees are out now, but I mean, it's that high you get when you run, right? You get this high, and it's like when you wear the color, the Jamaican color, and you represent Jamaica. And you go back home, and they say, "Well done, Sandy." So that that give me motivation to keep going as long as I could.
Great. All right. And also for athletes, and let's say young athletes now, say they're here and they're listening to you. Um, what piece of advice would you give them at that tender age? You know, because you started out very young. So what advice would you give to a youngster?
Well, have fun with it, with what you're doing, and not everybody's going to give you the right advice. So try to find a few people that you trust to talk to if you're having issues, like if you're feeling down or if you think you can't do something. I don't like to use the word can't because everything is attainable once you try. You may not get all of it, but just have fun with what you're doing and make sure the youngsters now, I need to tell them that education is key because not everybody will make it in track and field. And I know a lot of the youngsters are staying home in Jamaica, and that's where my issue is as an older athlete, that there is not a lot of foundation there to push the education on them, that they need that as well. So I think surround yourself with positive people and have fun with what you're doing. This is only for a time, doesn't last forever, and try to do the right things to take care of your body if you can.
All right. I've never asked this question before, but you know, nutrition. How important is that in terms of an athlete life, especially at a tender age?
It's I mean, when you're younger you can get away with a lot of things, but what is it gonna do to your body when you get older? Because it doesn't go anywhere mostly. You may think it's gone from all the bad things you're doing to your body, but I think nutrition is very important. I mean, the fast food and stuff, I think everybody know that's not so good, but when you're young you can get away with it and still perform well. I know a lot of the athletes don't have money to do massages and stuff like that, but that's important as well. And surround just a chiropractor adjustment, stuff like that. But there's some of them are so young and don't know what that is. So the food that we have in Jamaica is organic food. So there's no need to go to Kentucky all the time and put bad food in your body. And if you can get the organic food to eat, it will help you. You saying those, so it's yam and dumpling and banana that help. Yeah, it's probably true, and you can have you last a longer time.
Well, thank you. But with that, before I turn you over to Ian, I gotta know what was your favorite dish, growing up. When you can't wait to get in to have this. What was it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. And my favorite dish is oxtail, and I still cook it till this day.
All right,
Oxtail and rice and peas. That's me.
all right, great.
Yes,
Back
I
to you,
learned I
Ian.
learned to cook it, so I invite people over and cook all the time.
All right, oxtail it is. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys hear it? Oxtail and yellow yam. Nah. All right, Sandy. So I'm going to move along, and I'm going to start from San Jacinto Junior College. So,
Mhm.
uh, tell us about when you came to America and you got that scholarship. How was the transition for you? Just obviously, it's always a transition period. Some people, it's they excel, and some people it take a little time. How was it for you when you came over? In Texas, such a big state. How was it to go to college? What was the experience like?
It was challenging. As I said, I was 16. I came September, 16 years old. I have no family, no money, no nothing. And the reason I have to go back, the reason I went to San Jacinto Junior College is because UT gave me a full scholarship and I didn't take my SAT. So there was as you know, there was a hurricane in Jamaica at a point in 1986, and I couldn't get to Kingston to take my SAT. So they wanted me to come up anyways and put me in junior college so I could go over to UT after a while. So it was stressful. There was no Jamaican on the team. I was the first Jamaican on the team, and
Oh,
there was two girls from the Bahamas. So I have a little Caribbean vibe around me. So, and so to speak, it was cold. I didn't have enough warm clothing, and it was lonely. And but I was determined. I mean, not to go back home and not to fail myself. Right. So I got depressed for like a year. I used to write letters home every day for
wow.
almost a year, every single day. My hair fall out. It was very,
Mm-mm.
very depressing. But I I came to San Jacinto running, I think 51 seconds, somewhere around there. And the people around that area never seen anything like that. So I had people who offered to help me, like just strange people. They'll come out on the track and watch me train and take me home and feed me and stuff like that. And then I have the janitor at the junior Sandra Center. She took me under with the mail lady in the mail room. I have like a bunch of people that's surround me because they saw that I was depressed and homesick. And the they had a men's basketball team, and most of them were from New York. So they'd come over to the apartment, bring money and food because I could cook, and have me cook just to keep me company. So I had some people around me, but I was still sad, one and miss my sisters and my brother and stuff like that. But I was determined to tough it out.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So you weren't able to get an oxtail then, right?
Yeah, I cook it. I'm telling you. Central Center is right outside of Houston. And
Okay.
so, yeah, so Houston, Texas, right? So, if you go down to Houston, you can buy, there's Jamaican restaurants down there and Jamaican stuff. So we drive down, get somebody to take me down there and buy what I want and take it back.
All right,
And
all right.
yeah.
All right. All right. Awesome. So, well, from just what you're telling me, you already have made up your mind that you wanted to go to University of Texas,
Yeah.
Austin. Now, what did, I know you was highly recruited. Texas is way down there. What was the main decision for you wanted to wear, the tech, be a Texas Longhorn?
You know what's funny about that? Well, so I was walking up the street in Clarendon in Sutton's one evening. My mom sent me to the corner shop, and then this white taxi car just pulled up beside me, and I'm like, what these people want with me because they stuck their head on. And when I look, it was Coach Glenn Mills and Terry Crawford from the University of Texas.
Oh,
She flew to Jamaica to find Mr. Mills because she know Mr. Mills on where I live and came and offered me a scholarship. So that was in the back of my mind, right? That's the only coach that flew down there for me because I met Terry in 1985 at the Pan Am Games in Florida and introduced Kathy Rattray, who introduced me to her because Kathy was at the University of Tennessee at the time. And Terry had some Jamaicans, Hilary Oliver and Kathy Rattray Williams, and they introduced me, but I couldn't say much to her because I was still in high school. And she remembered me from then because I won the Pan Am Games that year as well. So she came back for me the next year to offer me a scholarship. So I feel like I couldn't let her down, so to speak.
okay.
But I took all my other trips, though. I went on my recruiting trips, and I tried to hide from her in a place called Copper's Cove, where the military base is. And she found me, and I hid under the bed, and she said she's not leaving till I come back and re-sign the letter of intent. So I stayed under that bed for 3 hours, and she sat out there and waited. So yeah, there it is.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's funny how the history of track and field, and because I have the privilege to talk with Miss Terry, Coach Terry Crawford.
yeah.
Um, at one point I was looking into doing some coaching, and I've ring her up, and but I didn't know her history, that she was actually was the coach at Texas
Yeah,
Austin. So that's good. But I could tell we're gonna get into it because the same as Terry Crawford here was at your wedding. And we're gonna talk a little bit about it because that gotta be real special to you.
Yeah.
For you to say, look, you've been with me so long, so now you gotta give me away. All
Yeah,
right,
that's my
so
mama.
let's do a overcap of your collegiate career, competing for the Longhorns. Obviously, you was doing very well, and but what was it like now that you had a big Division One university and you're getting trainers, you're getting taken care of better. How was that? How did that help your performance for in college?
I know that they say track is an individual sport, but it does take an army. you know, um, Before I went to Texas, there was other Jamaicans there as well. There's Winthrop Graham, that's your
Yeah,
man, Winthrop. So
yeah.
Winthrop went to Texas. Julia Cuthbert went to Texas. So they were there before me, and Ian Stapleton, I think that's the right name. And those people took me under their wings. So if I want for anything, they were there for me, right? And then at the University of Texas, they have the best physios and treatment rooms and stuff like that, to take care of their athletes because, as you know, they were big. They are big in football, and that does sink in the money into the track program as well. Because as you know, track is not as big as football, so the athletic department use football money as well to to help all the other sports out. So with injuries and massage and ice baths and stuff like that, we have that on lockdown at the University of Texas. So we want to win. We were winning NCs, and Curry wanted us in those nice little cute uniform and winning. So they remember those Kappa uniform back in the days for Texas. So we take pride in winning. So they make sure we have everything behind us for us to be able to win.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, guys, you heard it. University of Texas. She was also a Hall of Famer for the University of Texas. We got so much stuff to talk about, so I'm moving a little bit fast because she has a lot, and we could stand here all day and talk about it. But that that's gonna be that got to be one of those 10-part series like Michael Jordan. But I'm gonna get actually you come on in, Ian.
All right, guess what? Since we have our viewers on here, we try to inspire and educate Sandy. So quickly, what I want you to share with us is how were you able now? Can you speak highly about the importance of education? So what I want to know is how were you able to balance your school along with the tracks?
Well. When you get two things, when you get a scholarship, they have the ability to help you, right? So we have study halls. They make sure they study hall. If you're an athlete that needs study hall, you're going to go to study hall because we need a grade point average to run. So, and they have tutors. They have everything available for you to succeed. So if you don't succeed, then it's on you because the right now the University of Texas few years back put in a system that if you want to go pro, like if you want to leave the first or second year or whatever, you can go pro and don't finish school. They have your scholarship waiting on you when you get back to finish school.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's a good school to go to because we have that, have that there for the athletes. And it wasn't there when I was there, but now they put that in because a lot of people are going pro now. So if you want to come back and get your degree, they're there for you, and the scholarship is still sitting there waiting for you. You don't have to pay for it. You can come back and finish. So yeah, they have everything set up for you, and we have counselors. I mean, every university should have counselors. So if you said the support is not there if you're in college, that's not true. It's there because I wasn't the best student. Even if you have to go to summer school or whatever, and you gotta have to go to summer school if you want to make this work.
Okay, great. Could you tell us what did you major in?
Sociology. but I'm not working in that field now, right? But you can imagine whatever it's the luck of the draw. I'm doing something totally different other than that now.
Oh, wow, wow. But you may have to pivot back to that after this pandemic, because we're gonna need some deep root counseling and everything. I know
Well,
social.
I'm still working. I go to work every day, and I'm grateful. I'm blessed because we are
Yeah.
called essential workers. So I'm at work every day. It's scary, but I'm there. So we do rehabilitation for injured workers. So they go to work, they come to us after work or during work. So I'm still working in this pandemic, which is scary.
Well, we're happy for you, and we're happy that you're there for others, because working in that field, as you say, a rehab for, injured worker, that is very important to get them back out there, and
Yeah,
I bet even I don't know what you do exactly, but I know you
I
got a
can
counsel
tell.
some of those.
Well, I work under doctors and stuff like so. I work under them, under the doctors, and I take care of mostly the mailman, the UPS man, the state workers. So it's a federal company. So we do mostly federal workers.
Great, all right, we really appreciate it. And back to you, Ian. I'm gonna let Ian get through some of these questions. I know he have a book over there for you.
I see him smiling like crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So, guys, if you never know, Sandie Richards is also a essential worker. She's working all the way through, and I know that I wanted to. I'm gonna just ask you this question. I'm gonna take a break from the chat, but I'm gonna get back to it. But being an athlete making you a better worker now? How would you say that being an athlete all these years, especially during these times?
Work ethics. I'm telling you. Sometimes I don't want. I develop this strong backbone because sometimes I really want to. Yeah, but I remember those hard days. On the track, rain, shine. And so I know, hey, I just put on my mask and drive to work, and these people are out there working too, so I'm there for them. I think track and field has shaped me into who I am today. If it wasn't for track and field, I don't know where I'd be really, because seven of us from a poor family, where would you be if you don't get a good education to get a good job, right? So track and field has shaped me so many different ways. It's work ethics most of all, and tolerance most of all. Tolerance is a big thing because you have to tolerate a lot to go back on the track and back on the track. So I think patience as well. Running the 400 meter, you have to have patience, right? So
Yeah.
it taught me patience as well, and that's how I got this job because I was a 5-time Olympian. They just gave me this job because they know I know what I'm doing. So that's how I get a job. And I've been doing it for 13 years.
Okay. All right, guys. So being Olympian, it does mean something. You you could get opportunities. You can there got to be something. If I have got a company, I would want to recruit you because
Mhm.
I would want to know this for you to do 5 Olympics. That's 20 years. So I
Right.
know that I'm going to have a long time worker here. But she's
Yeah.
once she's committed, she's going to go year after year, and that's the reason why. So whosoever did that job, they're sitting back right now saying, "Look, they made a good choice."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna go back a little bit now to the glorious days, as I said, at UT. Just want to highlight your career at UT. Obviously, you was a Hall of Famer. You are a Hall of Famer, so you gotta have some medals and some hardwares and some team title. Let's
Mhm.
talk about the team. Who are some of your teammates while you was there competing?
Well, there's a lot of them that stand out. Scarlett Goodry, you remember
Oh,
that name?
okay, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
coaching her daughter right now. I am a coach. I'm coaching her daughter and she got offers to the University of Texas as well. She
Okay.
has 2 more years left in high school. She's a 23 runner. I got her at 26 and I got her down to low 23s, 24. So yeah, Scarlett was my end. That's the one that stand out the most because she was always winning in there in Kelly Roberts. Most of them haven't gone to the next level. So the only one that was on the team with me was Scarlett that made the U.S. team and stuff like that. So that's my girl. We're still staying in contact, and Camila Sandana, Cynthia Rhodes. She's here in Austin as well, and we still, we talk a lot and, see each other at the events at the University of Texas. They have stuff for us. The other Jamaicans that came after me, we weren't in school together. So,
Okay, okay.
yeah, like the Melanie Walker and so forth, they were after me. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, awesome. So, in terms of your career, running for UT, just tell us real quick, a little bit of what was a few of your biggest accomplishment. Just a
Well,
few. As I
I
said.
feel okay. So what I can remember, like winning back in the days was Southwest Conference. It
Okay.
was, yeah, the Southwest Conference, and I remember winning every. I used to run 4 events,
Wow.
the 600, the 200, whatever they put me in that conference because we want to win and win with a lot of points. So that was some of my fun moments to help the team win. And the NCAA, I remember NCAA indoors that we broke the world record, but because I was a Jamaican and that is 3 other American, they didn't give it to us because you have to be 4 people from the same country. So we took pride in that anyways, even though we didn't get it. So there were some fun moments. Scarlett was on that relay with me as well. And they always throw me in the anchor leg. So I'll gut it out. So
All
we
right.
have
All
some good
right. All right.
times. Yeah.
All right. So, what was your best individual performance that you could remember for the Longhorn?
Well, winning the 400, the NCs, and then the last year, I was like me and Marcel Malone. I don't know if you remember that name going
Yep.
up
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Arizona State, and they put me on the 4x1 with Esther Jones from LSU, and I wasn't a 100-meter sprinter, and I'd hate to lose. It was only the eats for me to just qualify, and I tore up my hamstring that year. So I didn't get to, I went in with 50.01 seconds to win the NCAA championship, so I couldn't run the finals. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We know some ups and downs during
Yeah.
your career. But we know it was mainly ups. So, just
I'm
want to
losing too.
but we want to congratulate you for such a awesome career. So before we close that chapter on the NCA thing now, I want to ask you what's your input and the young athletes going to college. How important did that develop you, and what advice would you have for high school athletes?
Well, I think you should be given a choice, right? The choice is, do you want to stay or do you want to go to college? I mean, for example, I just found out is I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Davis, the
Yeah,
little young kid from
Kevon and Davis.
Jamaica
I
from
think.
Edward Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call from my mom last week said we're related, right? So, but she's at the University of Texas right now, and I'm like, I start crying because I have somebody now to mold, right? So, she came. She could have stayed in Jamaica, and she could have, got to get the scholarship. She took the scholarship. Now, if she comes and start at Texas for 1 or 2 years and decides she want to go pro or decides she want to go back home, that's a choice. She can always come back and finish school, right? So give them a choice. Not everybody's going to stay and make it there in the track club, in the track club, like the MVP and the racers and stuff. Not everybody will make it, but if you have a degree, sometimes it can work. You may not get the best job ever, but you have something to fall back on. So I think you should give the kids a choice. That's why I think there should be more of a foundation in the high school system where all these good athletes are coming from and beyond to make sure they're up and up with their education or they can score good on the SATs or stuff like that. I think we have come that far in athletics now that and there's so much money poured back into Jamaica track and field that they can do that.
All right, guys. You heard it from Sandie Richards. She actually a living testimony because, as I said, she have leave Jamaica at age 16 on a full scholarship over to the Texas. Went to junior college first, then she went to UT, and she have stated how important it is to get an education and to help mold you, and that's what helped mold her to be five-time Olympian. So she's telling you what she's preaching with what she do.
And
So
Merlin Upton did it. Veronica Campbell did it. There's lots more of us that did it.
all right, awesome. So that was a great collegiate career. Guys, I know you've been waiting to hear about this Olympics and all this stuff, but we always got to go back a little bit and just let you know that look, this Olympics didn't just start in 1988. This Olympics was started from 1985, 86, and so
84.
all right, so 84. So just let you know. So we're gonna talk about you going to the first Olympics. You know, at,
Yeah.
just let us know what age were you going to the first Olympics and where did you
Oh,
go and what event did you participate in? I know that's like three questions, but
no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm trying to remember a lot of things. But well, 84, I went to the Olympic trials in Jamaica. I made the team, but they didn't take me.
oh,
I got they're supposed to take six, and
hmm,
I made the relay team, and they didn't take me because they said I was too young. So I still went back. So 88 was Seoul, Korea. I was going 18, I think 17, going 18, somewhere there. And so my first Olympic team was in Seoul, Korea. Yeah, I
okay.
was excited.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So I know that you was a bit now running in the collegiate circuit, and you was a lot more developed at the time. So obviously, going to Seoul, what was the difference going to obviously you've been to the World Junior Games that was in Athens in '86. So you've been internationally over, but what was that your best memory of that Olympics? Just watching it, not particularly you, but what did you remember as a young athlete and saying, look, and how that did that inspire you to say, look, I'm
Well,
gonna go ahead.
it was like it was crazy because I've never seen so many people of that magnitude before. The Russian, I mean, it was like going to Seoul, right? My first I went to Athens, but this is the Olympics, right? So you're on the Jamaican team going to the Olympic Games. At first, I didn't do well because I was experienced enough at that time because you have all the Russians and the Germans who were all they do is train for the Olympics, right? And we weren't, circled around like that. I just made the team. I went. I didn't think I was gonna medal, but it was quite an experience. I was there just soaking it all up and saying to myself, the next I'm gonna make the next Olympic team and I'm gonna do better. That's what my mind was saying. I'm gonna be older. I'm gonna train harder. I was saying that all over in my mind. So that's why I made the second one because I was determined to go back and do better. And it was a promise to anyone because you have to go to the trials and try to make the team. But I was probably winning the Jamaican trials for years by myself. So because the Grace and those who wants to run the who can run the 400 didn't want to run the 400. Little I know there was more glory to the one and two than the four. So yeah, the first Olympics kind of shaped me to want to make the second one.
So tell us what was it like because you pretty much know Grace and Merlin. I know you was a young athlete, but there was like high expectation of bringing back medals for
Mhm.
Jamaica. What was the experience being around those two legends during the Olympics? And what did you learn from both of them?
Well, for Merlin and I think probably I learned from Merlin that you have to be a little bit selfish, so to speak. Not entirely selfish, but you have to be a little bit in your world, and focus and be more focused than I was. I used to talk to her a lot in emails and ask her because in 1980, Merlin was like the Merlin. She still was after that, but then you're like, oh my God, there's Merlin, so you want to talk to her, you want to pick her brain, you want to ask her how many times a day you train, what do you eat, and she wasn't selfish, so to speak. She would tell me, I don't know about anybody else. So that she trained twice a day or sometimes 3 times a day. If she has to go out there, she moved to where in Italy to train because this is what she wants to do. And so by any means necessary, so to speak. She was really rigid with her tribe, and Grace was just a hard worker. And they surround yourself with positive people as well. So I took that from them and surround myself with people who are going to help me. I made mistakes, of course. Some didn't, but But I learned a lot from how to have work ethics and how to be, a little bit, selfish in a good way to be successful.
Man, yeah, that's just so fortunate, Sandy. I'm hearing like 3 books from you right now. You know, I'm
I have a friend that always tell me, when are you going to write a book? Which is Mike Henry. He's the author. Yeah, he have a book thing in Jamaica, and I'm like, everybody has a story like this. So
yeah, yeah. I'm
I'm
hearing it because you actually live those experiences, especially just with Merlene and Grace and many others. But I knowing at a young age that got to be that helps to keep you going and helps to mold you. So definitely said want to give a shout out to Merlene Joyce Otti and also want to give a shout out to Grace Jackson.
And
For
I have Sandra Former Patrick. She's my big sister. I met her in 1987, and we're still like sisters today.
Yep, yep. Shout out to San. Look, I got some names here because there's many more. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about Kathy Freeman as yet.
That's my road dog right there. Yeah.
So yeah, but for all the names that mentioned, and for the ones that that hasn't mentioned, just knowing that look, Sandy, you guys know Sandy, so don't take anything that you didn't say on the program.
It's me,
All
Rob.
right, all right. So I'm going to move along. I want to talk about actually, let me get something together. I got a video I want to show us, but I'm gonna put you over to Ian, and I'll get that video ready. I want to talk about this World Indoor because a lot of people haven't realized that you're probably one of the most decorated indoor runner ever for Jamaica, and
Yeah.
all that you have accomplished, people hasn't realized. I know they haven't count. A lot of people they forget about indoor real quick.
Yeah.
But to compete, I believe you compete in 5 indoors. uh,
5 or 6, somewhere there.
yeah, and you probably have the most indoor medals ever in
And
the history.
myself and Maria Matola, and
Okay.
I think it's 3 of us. Myself, Maria, and Jill Miles,
Yeah.
something like that, somewhere close to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have the stats right here, but
Yeah.
I'm going to show what one of their indoor races, and just to highlight that one, and then we will go on. But I'll get that together. Over to you, Ian.
Okay, Sandy, just a quick question here. Could you tell us how it felt wearing the Jamaican color?
It's hard to describe. I mean, wearing the colors, man. That's why I run in 5 Olympics because people are asking why. Because back in the days, we were having so much difficulties. When you travel on the team, and it's wearing the colors is really, really, really one of the things that drive me on as well to make another team because I feel proud. I feel um, like I'm doing something positive for myself and for my country. Um, the most the thing that I'm most excited about was carrying the flag in the 2004 Olympic Games. That was the best. That waving that flag was like, you know, beyond, anything else I could ever imagine.
Great. And another question is, how were you now received in your community? To just see a little girl from the community just excelling so well on the tracks, representing Jamaica at such tender age, and just continue in your glory as you go along. What did that mean to your community in Clarendon?
I mean, back in the days when you go home, people are like either some shy away because they think you have changed some. Because you've been. I left at 16, so and the people I grew up with, I was all excited to go back home and say, hey, because people are playing on the street with, and some shy away and some like embrace me because I remember in my community, they put a picture of me on the wall right in the square. So the whole community was like, she's from Clarendon, she's from Chapelton Footpath. So, the people, make sure they let me know that they appreciate what I've done and what I'm still doing, so what I was still doing at the time.
Okay, great. And just a quick question here. What do you think it means to Jamaica on a whole to have people that represent them at the highest level, like you, Merlin, Atty, Donald Quarry, and Herb McKinley, and all these guys? What does this mean to Jamaica on a whole?
I didn't hear the entire question, sorry.
I'm saying, what do you think it means to Jamaica on a whole to have, athletes like you guys who have paved the way, basically, I'll say, starting with Donald Quarry and those athletes, what is it that they mean to Jamaica?
I mean, I think when you're sitting in your living room and you're seeing people, someone like Donald and Merlin and myself on the TV representing, it give you hope, right? You give your kids hope. Like a mother who their kids is outside and said maybe they get, one day my son can be like that person, or maybe that's a way for my son or daughter to represent me and Jamaica one day. So I think it give a lot of people hope because I went back one Olympics to watch and commentate in Jamaica, and boy, it was crazy. The entire town is Kingston is shut down in halfway three with big screen TV and stuff. I just cried the entire time because when you're at the Olympics, you don't see this. You hear about it, but you don't see it. So it was a good experience for me to see how people embrace and how they just stand there and don't go to work and just watch the hope of the country. And we put Jamaica on the map. Of course, reggae music first, but at least, we are all over the world with the black, green, and gold. And we do it with pride. We try not to embarrass, ourselves, whether we come a good last in the Olympic finals or we win a medal. It's just a pride of us being there for that country that we love so much.
Just want to say that you hit the nail on the head, as we'll say in Jamaica, in that it gives us hope. And so I just want to tell you guys, when you guys are out there competing, the legacy that you guys have left for us, you cannot tell. Even the moment when you're on the track, you just want to see us there around that TV. We're like, run, Sandie, run.
Yeah.
We're actually running with you guys. I know you guys are not there to actually see it, but it's electrifying when you see all of us gathering, like you hear, okay, the 400 meters is gonna run, and like we're expecting Sandie to medal, and just to see your Jamaican color on that track. We're all excited, we are hyped up, and I tell you, it gives us a ray of hope. And
it's funny because when we're running the relay and you're in medal contention, right? All you can think of, like, you can't let them down. You can't. The whole country wants you to get that medal, so it's stressful because what they say. Go Sandie, go. So you have to come in with a medal. So that goes through my mind a lot of times too when I'm competing.
All right. Since you have mentioned that, I just want to touch on that topic there. Nervousness. How do you prepare yourself actually, controlling that nerve when you're about to basically go to your marker, knowing the entire world is looking forward to you having a good race. We're not even looking for you to win, but just having a good race, you know.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
There's a lot of things that go through you. If I feel if I don't get nervous, I'm not going to run well. But it's how nervous do you get, right? There's a limit to it. If you get too nervous, then you don't perform as well. But there's a little nervousness is good. So at the Olympic Games, nervous to run I'm more nervous running the relay than anything else because I don't want to be the messed up leg on the relay because if they don't tell you in your face, they're going to talk behind your back. Trust me. So I don't want to be the worst of the relay. So that's more nervous than my individual race. And my individual race, like, you have to get a tiny bit of nerves, to go out there. That means you're ready, adrenaline, and a little nerves and you're ready to go.
Well, we're happy that you're able to handle it and manage it, because you have made us all proud. So over to you, Ian.
All right. So guys, as I said before, Sandie has competed indoor so many times, and I believe I have the medals right here. She won. She won a 7 medals at the World Indoor Championship, 3 gold and 4 silver.
I
So
didn't even know that.
yeah. And this is, I mean, regardless of the circumstance and the situation, I mean, you won the first gold medal in 1993 at the
Yeah,
World Indoor.
in
Let me help
Canada.
your memory out. That's in Toronto, Canada.
Mhm.
And to come back, boy, this got to be a legacy. To come back like 10 years after and still running, because we know the indoor is pretty much every 2 years. And I know there's some season where you just did not bother to run indoor because
Yeah.
you got other priorities. But we just want to show some of the viewers one of your indoor races that you compete in. I believe it's gonna be well, we'll see.
Lisbon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna share the audio, so you could actually, if you want to tell us anything about the race, yeah, you feel free. Yeah, Lisbon. We're gonna show Lisbon. Uh,
All right, that was Lisbon, Portugal. Yeah,
all right.
so that
So
was
Stan.
Lisbon. Huh?
Okay, so that was Lisbon.
Yeah,
So
and I
just
was
just for
in
some of
Australia.
the young viewers that's out there, some of the young viewers that's out there that runs indoor and outdoor. What's the difference? How do you approach indoor 400 compared to outside? What's the difference in terms of running a good race?
Well, indoors, as you know, it's a bank track sometimes, and it's a 200-meter track. Um, you have to be very, very aggressive. You have to there's no break in the 400 and the indoors. So you just have to go out, take the lead if you can, and just hold on for dear life. And I actually love indoors because I'm an aggressive person. And so I will beat you off the track. I will cut in front of you, whatever I have to do. So it turns out that I was a good indoor runner. So I look forward to to competing indoors at all times. I trained outdoor for that race. I was in Australia training with Kathy Freeman, and I flew from Australia to Lisbon. I didn't run any indoor. And Olga, that's the girl that got second from Russia. She ran 50-point indoors. They were, running a lot of indoors. And I'm like, I said to Nick Badu, who was me and Ketty and I coach, and I'm like, that doesn't faze me. I'm going to win anyways. That's how confident I was in the shape I was in 97. That was 90, yeah, 97. Yeah, so I just went and look up on the screen when I passed the first 200 meter, and then just hold her off. That's what I did, and then I think it was I ran 51 something in that race to win it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed in that race, actually, Susan Reed and the other girl, Monique Enigan, coming on the breakaway, they
Mhm.
actually was leading it because there was inside, but for some way, when you get to the lap, you seem like you change your gear and
Yeah,
say,
that's one way. The thing is, if you're gonna, you have to have a tactic. I mean, if you're gonna go out, you're just gonna have to go out. You can't give me any room to pass. If you give me room to pass, I'm gonna pass. And when I pass, if I'm in shape, you're not gonna pass me back. So you can't be hesitant. You just have to go. So that was it. And I was in 50-point shape. So there was no way if they come at me, I was gonna go again. So yeah, I was in shape that year.
all right, guys, you heard 7-time world indoor medalist for Jamaica. And I'm going to ask her, this is going to be a tough question. Which one of these, out of all these championships, which one you could say that you're gonna put to be your favorite? I know it's probably difficult because I know as a runner they're all special in different ways.
The indoors or
Yeah,
just
the indoors.
yeah,
Yeah, the indoor.
I think the first one was Canada,
Yeah.
93.
Okay.
Yeah, that was special to me because nobody thought I would win.
Okay.
Because then again, there was a lot of 50-point runners going into the race, mostly the Germans and the Russians again. And I remember when I passed the Russian at the end of the race, like right at the line, Ed Barnes, Ed Barnes, the commentator from Jamaica, was
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, and Sandie Richards is going to settle for second place." And by the time he finished saying that, I won.
Wow.
So yeah, I, uh,
Yeah.
I just ran through the tape because I still have that belief at 5 meters to go that I could still win the race. So that was my favorite.
All right, guys. So yeah, that's gonna be we're just gonna summarize it as her indoor career. Because we want to move on to 1997, which I believe was one of her better years in track and field. She was able to win her first, and if I'm wrong, you correct me, but she was able to win her first individual world championship medal,
Yeah.
and that was a very, very probably one of the. I was fortunate enough to be in Athens in '97 as a young guy coming on the circuit, just starting out my first, out of college, and I just remember that race. That everyone thought Sandy won it, but obviously, everyone was watching the middle of the race.
Yeah.
We wasn't looking at lane one. It was, but we know how it is in track, and I know
Yeah.
you probably wasn't able to see Kathy. You was look, watching those other runners. So, just take us back to '97 and just because let's say you was in one of your best shape of
Yeah.
in your life, and what was
Again,
that like?
I was training with Kathy, and how I come about training with Kathy. I went to Germany to race. I was living in California with Terry again, and I traveled to Berlin to run, and I just felt sick. I mean, the trips were killing me. So I went up into the stadium. I'm gonna make a long story short, and I start asking Anna Curate and her
Okay.
group if I could stay in Spain and train with them because the World Championships is coming up. I already made the team, And I already made the team, and I don't want to go back, to the US because I just can't be going back and forth like that. And Nick Badu was captain coach at the time, was sitting, and he heard me ask, and he said, "You can come train with us." And I'm like, "Excuse me, I wasn't talking to you." My mouth. And he said, "No, I'm serious." I said, "What's in it for you?" And he said, "Nothing. I just think you're a great athlete and Kathy wants some company training." And that's how that happened. So I started training with Kathy and I got into the best shape of my life. And
All
I
right.
know I could have, yeah, I've run way faster. But when I was on the track warming up that before my finals, because I know they had 2 rounds. One in the morning, the East was in the morning, and the second round was in the afternoon. They rarely have that on the 400. And I just kept getting feeling better and better and better. I run 50 points in the morning, 50 point low in the afternoon, and then the semifinals come, and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I feel like I'm in heaven right now, right? So I can win this world championship, but I didn't have anyone with me to tell me anything because the Jamaican coaches were there and nobody said anything to me. Kathy coach was there, but that was Kathy coach at the point because she was in the finals, right? So I'm on my own. The only person that said something to me was Linford Christie. And he looked at me and said, "Boy, Sandy, I think you're ready." That's all he said to me because you don't even know what drills to do anymore. You're just ready.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I feel ready. And I went out there. And if somebody had told me, just go back over the race and the race plan with me, I would have won that. Jackie wouldn't have seen me,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was meant to happen that way, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
So she came off that curve because Nick told her to run off that curve like a mad woman.
Yeah.
And I came up with two, I started kicking too late. I started kicking at 120 instead of 150. And then my speed came at the end when the line was there. So that was that race. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to show this race. I know you talk about it, but I have it on the screen, so we're just going to show it real quick. And yeah, here, share.
Yeah, memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Sandy,
I can see where I started too late. She was like 2 strides ahead of me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, so running the 400, because what I realize is this race I've changed. At one point, I thought this person was gonna win. Then it looked like this person was gonna win. Then he come back. Then you come back because it looked like it was at fourth at one point. you know,
I
and,
was.
yeah, and then you just hold your composure and run all the way through. How is it important? I mean, because a lot of times what happened, it's the race is a 400. It's not 350. It's not
Mhm.
385. It's not 395. You know, but you what go through your mind like the last 40, 30 meters? I mean, and I know you're running, but what
Well, sometimes when you get to about the last 40 meters, is just guts, pure guts. No matter what you look like, I mean, it hurts like hell. So, and it hurts more if you lose.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to hold your form as much as you can together to get to the line. Because if you know, for example, what's the name from the Bahamas, just throw herself across the line, so to
Yeah.
speak, for the Olympic game. She was just dead tired and saw that Kathy was in, not Kathy, but
Allison.
Allison
Allison.
was going to get there before her. So, by any means necessary, all your form is gone to the dogs, unless indeed just trying to hang on for dear life and get to the line. So, you just grit it out. And I mean, your legs feel like they're falling off, but you got to get to that line. It
But
hurts.
but how do you develop that? I mean, because everybody, I would assume that everybody's going to say they have guts and determination and all that. I mean, you know.
Well, you train. That's
Okay.
where training come in. We do things in training that help you through that lactic part of the race.
Okay.
We used to do repeats, 6 200, right, with decreased rest. And when you start, say you start at 25, and when you get to the last one, there's no way if you run 24, 25 in the last one, you're gonna run 48 seconds, and these rarely happen. So the second to last one, you feel like your legs can't move. So you still have to run that last one because it teach you how to run through the lactic, right?
Okay.
And yeah, so those splits stuff, broken 400s, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Ian, I'm gonna get one bonus question here, because I really gotta ask Sandy this. Since she's retired and she's home, she's enjoying life. I know she's eating ice cream now. I know she's drinking red wine. Tell us your favorite workout, as an athlete, that you just like to do that make you feel like you're ready to run.
Well, it's funny. If I remember before the World Championships, my favorite workout is 300. If you can,
Okay.
I ran 35 second in that 300. That's when I know, so I can do like the 300, and it would tell me how well I'm gonna run the 400 in. If I get a good 300, I can repeat that 300. I'm good. And
Okay.
and then the shorter speed endurance was a 150.
Okay.
If you can run a good like 17-second 150, you put those two together and we're good to go. So after track now, I still try. I tried until I hurt my knee. I tried to do those repeat slow up tempo 150s. Make me feel like I still got it, so to speak. Yeah. So yeah, I see you running here, and I see you trying to work out.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get some tips right now. you know.
I still do those. I mean, I love those repeat 150s and repeat 200s. I mean, I try to run over 300. That ain't working out. No, I don't work out too well. I'm 52. Come on.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, but
just tell us the workout that your coach, a workout that coach always give to you that you hate. You just don't like that
oh
work.
my God. 600. Listen, I despise 600. I will run a five though. I don't know
Okay.
why,
Okay.
but I do not like. When I came to the University of Texas, Terry was a 800-meter coach mostly, right? And she used to give me 1,000 to run, and I told her I'm not doing it. So after the first 1,000, I'm like, nobody wants to run 1,000 when they're 400-meter sprinters. So I stopped doing it. I
Okay.
can't stand anything over 800-meter or over 500-meter.
Okay. But how important it is to do over distance
It
for
is very, very, it's very important. I mean, nowadays the 400 is sprint, it's a straight sprint, but I let you know this, all those sprinters do background work. They do their, I used to watch Sonia when I stopped running, train, and she started 16 200 meters in the off season. And she go every Sunday for a 30-minute run. So you do the background work is very important unless you're not going to repeat, right? It's hard for you to repeat those rounds.
all right. All right, guys. You got some tips right there. All the viewers, the masters runners, the young athletes, you know, 16 200. That's one of a tough workout. Sneak in the 30-minute workout. I know you think you're sprinters, but it's important to get a little bit of
And
you
it
know,
will save you from getting injured too if you're fit and start sprinting. right?
All right. All right. Over to you, Ian.
All right, Sandy, as I sit back here and I just listen as you go through your career path, I just want to know if there was any low moment in your along your career path where you feel that you weren't there, whether it be physically or mentally. Was there any low point in your career? We
Oh,
speak
lot.
about the high points, so let's see if there was any low.
Uh, Lots of low points. When an athlete get injured, right, that's a low point. I had hamstring injuries, I have stress fractures, I have, as I said before, in college, running on the relay before the finals of my 400-meter, and then I missed the World Championships that year. That was 1991. I missed the World Championships for Jamaica because I got hurt at NC's. And then in college, I got stress fractures twice. I pulled my hamstring before for professional, as we call it, competing for Jamaica. I missed another World Championships again by having a nerve issue in my hamstring that I couldn't get rid of before going to the trials. So, and those things kind of get you depressed because worse for when you're making your money running after college, you're not going to make any money that year if you're not at some championships or you can't run. So it gets you into a bind sometimes. And we back in the days we didn't make the money the athletes now are making. So we have to scratch for stuff sometimes. So those are low time. But as I said, I surround myself with people that's encouraging and pick me up when I'm feeling down about my injuries or missing the World Championships or Olympic Games.
Okay, thank you for touching base on that. Another thing I want to ask you, personal mistake. Is there any mistake that you have made along your career path that you would not want another athlete to make? That like for me, I'm a cricketer and I end up just go playing a little skimmage football, break my hand. Did you?
Well, I mean, oh man, I think I'm a person that believe that you can turn around mistakes while you have opportunities to do so. I make lots of mistakes. I wish I'd saved more money when I was running. I wish I had a better financial advisor back in the day because a dollar can turn into $2 if you know what to do with it, right? And I make mistake by not finding a coach that could help me with my speed part of my workout before, but I didn't know any better. But to me, I feel that I should have looked deeper into that, or the mistake is not going to train. We catch them earlier, and unless I would be a monster, I would like kick everybody's, if I did. But it wasn't really, it was just a learning lesson for me. And I think whatever God plan for you really. That's what once you try, that's what you get. So I wouldn't call them mistake. I would just call them kind of missed opportunities, so to speak.
Okay, great. And as you touch on the coaching, and you also mentioned that you're basically coaching a young lady also. But how important is it to have a personal coach or a personal team around you as an athlete? Whether managing things off the field and you just go out there and run.
It's very important. I tried to train on my own for a while because I after University of Texas, I went to California for a few years because Terry moved to California and I didn't like it up there, so I moved back to Texas and I tried to train on my own for a while. It was miserable not having a coach out there. It's nobody to critique you, nobody to say, listen, you could have done that faster. So it's very important to have a support system behind you, whether it's your coach, whether it's a chiropractor, whether it's a motivator, or somebody in your corner. So, it takes a village, and the village is the support system as your coach, and whether it's your parents or your relative or somebody who means you well. So I don't think you can do it by yourself and on your own.
Okay, thank you. All right, now I'm gonna dig into a little personal side. And you mentioned earlier you're 52, but
Yeah.
what I want to know is what's the secret to staying young? Because you don't look nothing like 52. So
Oh,
could
you
you?
just saying that, are you for real? Yeah, November last month I turned 52, November 6th. I turned 52. Well, I think probably in my genes. My mom, I guess, I don't know. But I try to work out and try to eat properly. And now I'm drinking a lot of wine, Ian. A lot of wine. I'm a wine drinker. I will just, yeah. But I usually didn't do those things when I was running track. So now I'm, I guess, making up for lost time. And I try to keep active. I try to jog a little bit, do the elliptical just to keep, fit. And I think that helps to make you feel look fresh, I suppose.
Well, I'll just say this, you're working with the rehab side of the health or wellness side. For me, I'm a nurse, and I'll tell you this personally that diet and your lifestyle
Hmm.
helps along in terms of how long we live, in terms of our
Yeah.
aging. Put it
Yes.
that way. And you mentioned about red wine or drinking some wine. And I just want to talk from personal experience, not that I'm telling you guys this is scientific, but I've realized that most of my patients that I've seen living over 80 plus, 90, even 100, you
Yeah.
know, one question that we'll always ask is that, if you drink, meaning some alcohol, and they will say, what do you mean? I have a glass of red wine before I go to bed or at night. And I've been seeing it more and more that these people that are living long, they're having a drink of red wine. So I don't know the whole chemistry behind it or the
Yeah.
science behind it, but I think it's a good thing. And
I,
I
I'm taking it that it's a good thing because I'm not stopping, right? So,
well,
and the French people say that all the time, a glass of red wine, a glass of red wine. So I'm taking that up because I want to live over 80,
I'm joining in on that one. Ian, I don't know if you're gonna come, but I want to have a glass of red wine every night now, man. I'm just gonna
Oh
start it.
yeah, let's go, let's go. A good wine, not cheap wine now.
No, no, that's it. We spend
Okay,
so much
good
money
wine.
on every other thing, but yet still, when it comes to health, I realize a lot of us are slacking when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
health. Like that is too expensive. This is too
Oh,
expensive. But yet still, we go out there and we buy a pair of shoe for $200.
yeah, yeah,
A suit
uh,
for $300-$400, and
yeah,
make somebody say buy some supplements or just to have a good nutritional, some fruits and vegetables. Like, man, that's too expensive. You put it right back. you
yeah.
know. So it's
I think, you have to put positive things out there. I mean, you go to work every day, you work hard. So you got to eat well as well. That, I mean, if you die tomorrow, you can't take that paycheck with you. So I'm going to buy me a good bottle of wine, right? For tonight. I have it. I love good red wine. So red blend, I found some good ones. I stick to them and I have a glass.
yeah, and it's good when somebody come to your home to have them to have a good drink, man.
Yes, for sure. So two things you have to have in your house: some white Hennessy and some red wine.
Wow. Anything from the Jamaica collection? No overproof.
Well, well, I have some white rum. I always have white rum.
Well, I can tell you bake some cake from time to time.
Yeah, and some put the lemon in the rain of your rum, and that will, yeah.
No, no, it is therapeutic when it comes on to certain cold and flu. I don't know about it, but it
No,
works.
it sends you to sleep. Just it burns your chest, send you to sleep.
I don't give them too much of the secret. They could connect out the ear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, back to you.
Well, just let me know. I need to know when I'm able to pick some of that up with my insurance. Since it's since it seems like it's you guys. What I'm hearing is it seems like it's a essential thing to long
Oh
life.
yeah, it's essential, Ian. Get with the program. It's essential.
So so I'm thinking that that got to be something now that my doctor could prescribe.
A glass of red wine. He probably be drinking it, yeah.
Oh my God. You want the insurance to pay for it? Oh wow.
All right. Anyway, yeah, that was awesome. So you know, so much legacy that we have covered today. We're going to move along. Um, I wanted to touch base a little bit, just one. one moment of the 1992 Olympics that stand out with you? Just one shining moment that you can remember.
1992, Barcelona.
Yeah.
All right. That was the Olympic Games you were on, Ian.
No, I was in
Oh,
Sydney. We're not even there yet.
Barcelona was my first Olympic finals, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Barcelona. I remember because it was my first Olympic finals, and I was excited that I didn't get kicked out in the in the rounds. I was all excited. And then that again drive me to want to make another Olympic thing. Each Olympic Games, I use something positive from it to say I want to go back to another Olympic. So Barcelona was my first Olympic finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're moving up the ranks. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to move along to Atlanta. So knowing that the Olympics was going to be North America, you familiar with living in America, training, back and forth, and now that the Olympics is like this, probably the closest the Olympics going to ever be to Jamaica. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what was your best memory of the Atlanta Olympics?
Well, it wasn't a good the bombing, Atlanta bombing. Remember that?
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah,
scary.
yeah, yeah.
Atlanta wasn't so fun. It wasn't fun at all. It was like chaotic. They put us in this army barracks place to stay, and it wasn't the most fun Olympics. It was fun for the Americans as Michael shined and Gwen shined and stuff, but and I think Juliet got silver, and then we have a great the Mary Jo Parek who took us out of our game in the 400 meter. So I
Yeah.
remember a lot of great performances from other people, but I didn't do so well. But I was there. I think I made it to the semifinals, and that was it in the 400. But we made it to the finals in the 4x4 as well.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I remember I spoke to Inez last week, and I believe she was on that 4x4
Yes,
relay
and it's
in
kind of
96. Yeah,
yeah.
so I think you guys took fourth. I believe that's what she said, because you
Yeah, we were
guys
in
did.
third place, and I forgot who, I don't know how that happened, but they got fourth. I guess that was me again. Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, we're going to move along and move up to Sydney, Australia. We know
Yeah.
that you train in Australia for with Kathy. You're good friends with Kathy. Kathy was home. Were you still training with Kathy leading up to the Sydney Olympics?
No, I was back in Austin at that time.
Okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
she had came to Austin for a couple of months and then went back. So we weren't training together then. I came back to Austin to live. So and I was at Texas and my coach was in California, which is still Terry.
Okay.
After I left Nick and Nick was helping me out. So that's when I said being on your own ain't the positive thing to do. You have to have a coach to guide you. So yeah, I was with Kathy or Nick at that time.
Okay, okay, okay. What was the shining moment out of Sydney for you overall?
The 4x4 medal we got second place. But I obviously the gold medal is ours because Marion got busted, but nobody fought for the gold for us, so we didn't really get the medal in hand. So yeah, we're still missing that medal.
All right, all right, all right. So now we're up to 2004
Yeah,
Olympics, and
Athens.
so before we go on, we just want to say that was your last Olympics,
Yeah,
right? So now, at that time, did you actually made up your mind that that was going to be your last Olympics?
no. I, no, I didn't. I thought I could do one more. I'm crazy, I suppose. Yeah, I really thought I could do one more. But then after the Olympics, I came back and I started training again, and I couldn't get my body to go. I was 36, somewhere there. I'm crazy. I probably want to be like Merlin and go till I'm 40. But and in the 400, that's not possible. You know what I mean? The 400, if it's maybe long distance, or maybe the 100, I could get away with it. But the 400-meter work is different. So I couldn't train at the same intensity that I wanted to train at. So one day I'll be okay on the track, the next day I'm exhausted and my legs wouldn't do it. So I kind of push and make it. I went to Ireland to run a track meet, and then the swelling couldn't come out of my both legs. And it was 3 days after my flight, and then I couldn't feel my legs in the curve of the 400, and I couldn't finish the race. And I'm like, okay, this is it. So I walked and waved, or walked to the finishing line and waved to the crowd, and then they interviewed me, and I said, this is it. So
Okay.
I came back to the US and I called Ed Barnes and I said, I think I'm done. And he said, are you think about it and then call me back tomorrow. So I called him back the week after and I said, yeah, I'm done. I don't think I can do this anymore.
All
It,
right.
it was a tough day for me because I got depressed because there's something I want to do for longer, but my body wouldn't, my body just said that's enough.
So that do you remember what year did you actually retired?
After 2004 to 2006,
2006. Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
hmm
Okay. So obviously you retired in 2006.
So I was
Yeah,
trying.
yeah, yeah. I mean, long career. But when you actually how I mean after retirement, because this is something that that maybe some of the viewers or some of the athletes that's watching, what are some of the challenges you face after retirement in terms of missing the sport? How did you deal with that? Because I know running it can be addicted,
hmm
and if you've
I,
been doing
I
something for
still,
most of your life.
yeah, I still go out and run. I pretend in my mind I was retired, but in my mind again I wasn't retired, right?
Okay.
So I know I'm not going to any meets, but I'm still training, right? But I can train down and I can do less. But I train by my go out to the track like I'm going to a track meet with my
Yeah.
backpack and my spikes and everything. I did that for a while, almost a year. I did that for. I know, and I kept in shape, and I still, go out and mentally prepare my mind that this is it's over, but it's not over. For me personally, it's over internationally, it's over going to the Olympics, but in my mind, this is my therapy. All
Yeah.
I know is track, so that was my therapy, right? So I'm going out like I'm going to a shrink. The track is my shrink. So that's what I did.
Okay. Okay. So, on a personal note, based on what you have experienced, do you think that more emphasis need to put on the health and just the health, the mental health for athletes when they're getting ready to retire? Do you think they need like um, some post
Support.
counseling and something?
Yeah, support system. I think, okay, so for example, us now, yourself, me, and the athletes that retired long ago should actually come together and help those who are coming out of the sport if they want help, right? To surround them with love and say, we're here for you if you need anything. Because a lot of people feel lonely after, because this is their life. So, and you don't know that they feel lonely after, right? You just hear about it, or they don't get lost by the wayside. Um, I, I think today I was talking about a kid, a lady, Olivia,
Yeah, McCall.
that you competed for Jamaica. And I don't know where she's at now. She was on the street at one point, right?
Yeah,
We have to get a support system for whether you win a medal or whether you just go to the Olympics and make it out of the first round. I don't make it out the first round. I think we are a nation, Jamaica, have such a strong track and field background that we have to do a better job with the support system of our athletes. Not everybody have somebody to turn to. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's awesome because I really believe that you're 100% correct because after retirement and after finishing the sport, there's somewhat again. I know they're looking to the younger generation. Everybody looking for the next medal, and this, I know there are a lot of emphasis on the junior program, but for you to represent the country, that's bigger than you already paved the way, so I believe that there should be some organization, there should be some funding put aside for, you know if it's every 4 years or every 3 years or
Mhm.
wherever it is, for past athletes to come back together, and
Yeah.
have some form of get together. I mean, at least
Yeah.
an invitation for
Yeah.
them to
A lot of people wonder where we are, you know,
yeah.
where's so and so and where's so, because after we're done, some people don't bring us our names back up again. You know what I mean? And the young athletes, some of them don't even know who we are and what we have done, to help shape them. There's a road that you travel and there's always people in front of you.
Yeah.
Where is Sandie Richards now? So a lot of people don't know I'm in Austin, Texas, right? A lot of people don't know I'm still alive and well and doing well, and still I'm interested in track and field still, and because that's my life. That's what shaped me to
Yeah.
for me to be who I am. So we should have a better system, though, to make sure we stay connected. Not just the system there in Jamaica, people living in Jamaica. There's a lot of us that live abroad.
Yeah.
A lot of us athletes that live abroad. So inclusiveness, is that a word? In being inclusive with everyone. Yeah.
Yep, yep. I totally agree because I believe that there's probably about 80% of former athletes are living outside of Jamaica.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and we don't need to hear from people when they're sick and not doing well because it
Right.
seems like it seems like that's the only time that the media and everybody will be ready to you know to
So,
to post something and write something about you
mhm.
and so I want to touch on one thing. I know that you have competed with Dion Rose on many occasions, and I know I'm not trying to make this program sad, but
Yeah.
I you know just thought that she have unfortunately leave us, and I know she was over in Texas for a while training with you
Yeah.
guys at point to point. But what was your best memory of her?
Well, we call Diane Juggis. The reason why we call Diane Juggis is because she was always like, as we say in Jamaica, act like a ragamuffin person. So she's always smiling. There's not a day that you see Dion sad or not, or happy, not smiling. She's always pleasant, always welcoming. So I have a lot of good memories about her, and that I keep dear to my heart. And when she left us, it was sad because you thought so young, but when you say cancer, it doesn't matter who you are. It will take you whenever it feel like, right? So unfortunately, we lost another good person from cancer. It's sad and it touches. I spoke to Merlin. Merlin Fraser is the one that told me, and then Beverly called me, and then everybody started calling. I'm like, what's going on? Diane is gone. And it was shocking, really. It was shocking because she was taking care of someone else with cancer and then
Yeah,
didn't even know she
yeah,
had cancer. And then, yeah.
yeah,
And when it creeps up on you, that's it, it's gone.
yeah, yeah. All
Yeah.
right, awesome. All right, over to you, Ian.
All right, Sandy. So now that we're at the end of your athletics career, gone into retirement, I just want to make this known because I may have some question and I wish for you to answer to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
So I'll let the public know that I'm a cricketer, so I'm not really an athlete. Early in my career, I basically went into high school, the same high school as Ian for track and field. So I have a little bit of athletics in my blood, but really I spent more time playing cricket.
Yeah.
But I have some question that may cross path with others, but I just, it's something that I wish for you to be open about. But
Yeah.
say after competing for Jamaica for over 3 decades, competitively, at the highest level, I just want to know, do you think you have been treated like fairly by the J3A, the Jamaica Athletics Federation? However, but not just you, but other athletes. Because I hear you say that, it's like after a certain time, your name is not mentioned, and that's not a lie. It's like all we hear about is now the young athletes, but
Right.
there were athletes like Herb McKinley, Donald Quarry, and all those athletes that have paved the way that would have shaped athletics into what it is that we can really come and appreciate the Usain Bolt and the Shelley and Fraser and all these young athletes. But there was a path for them, But
Yeah.
are you guys being appreciated? How do
I
you feel about that?
I think the federate our I would say our federation, because I'm a member of the federation, and that's the federation I know of from I was running back in the days, can and should have done more, especially for um, the past athletes that are hidden out there somewhere, to let the younger athletes know who they are and who paved the way for them. Um, you have people like Jackie Busey back in the days. I'm going way back in the days. That
You
yeah,
know the rules.
I know Jackie very well. That nobody know where Jackie is sometimes. She's alive and well. There's Lily. These are the names I've heard of as a kid growing up. Nobody knows. So there's a foundation that can be built, that a little kid from, for example, I'll say Clarendon, and go and look at a plaque or something, and and said, oh, this is what this person have done, to help us pave the way, to help pave the way for them to be running. Now, I don't think enough is done. I think you're shunned to the wayside, and then the new ones come in because, hey, we're on a hype right now, so the new ones are in. And Usain is retired, so somebody else is gonna come along. Not another Usain. There's no other Usain, and there's gonna be another person. Then you still have Shelley, and you have Elaine, and you have Yuan, and then still good. But everybody's just riding on the wave. But there's no foundation, I think, in my personal opinion, that's set to make sure it stays for a while.
All right, thank you. And now I'm gonna put you in a hot seat.
Uh-huh.
Say,
I've been in one for the past 2 weeks. Yeah.
oh, all right. All right. What I want to say to you, if you had any power to change anything within like the J3, what would that be? That what would you implement there that make it different?
Well, we have seen the same people for years, for decades, for 20, 30 years, same people, and we don't have transparency. We don't have nothing to tell us that things are going to change. But whenever you run, so you're always like a regular election. There's going to be change. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. And the funniest thing is when you speak out, people hold it against you. You have to have a voice. You can take the good and the bad from it, right? You can take, not everything I say is going to be correct, or but take the good, because I know I've been there. I've been in the system. I've been traveling with the J3 since I was 13 years old. So I know the same things are going on. I have an athlete that called me earlier that said, you know what, Sandie, we are afraid to speak out, because if we do, then people say this, they hold it against you. When I was getting my upgrade for my 2012 medal, the 4x4 medal, nobody fought for us, only me and the other at Nobeline and myself fought for that medal and was there. Nobody helped us. Or, you know what, Sandie, I have the messages right now. You know what, Sandie, they put three of us in a room and take the next room and give it to their friends and family. I mean, so nothing has changed. So I got it on my instant message that just came in today. So, and those things have been going on since I was running track. So I know you may get mad at me, you may get pissed off that I speak up, but I have a right to because I've paid my this way for most of these athletes. I've done my due diligence. I run for Jamaica without prejudice. So guess what? I'm gonna speak out, and I have a right to. And I mean, there's nothing against anyone. It's just factual, you know. So, I mean, if I have an athlete who run for Jamaica who's saying that, and I've been there before, I had tears in my eyes that it's still going on. I cried because I feel like our hands are tied. And when there is, as us as Jamaica, when their money is involved, everybody wants to kill you for not speaking out. You know, come on, use it for the good. So when all of this hoopla is over with these current fast runners that we have a foundation. Take care of the athletes. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be in that position in the first place.
All right, so you have touched on some issues, and I must just say this, as a Jamaican, we have seen that this does not just affect track and field, but it happened across soccer, football,
Mhm.
happened across cricket, where so many of our, I just call us athletes, wherever you take it, we're athletes,
Mhm.
Uh, um, their fear of repercussion, you know, and I think that is the biggest fear that hover over all of us, in that we're feared to speak out. You
Yeah.
know, it is like if you speak out, you may not find yourself on the team next year, even though you're very
Yeah.
talented. You know, with track and field, it may be a little different, because if you come
It's not.
inside that first three or four, you may just have to make the team. But
Well,
for
they may
example,
find a way to take you off just the
wow,
same. Listen, listen. The thing is, people try to have to silence you. You know, I don't want to be silenced. You can't silence me, right? Because it was my talent that take me on the Jamaica team, not the J3s picked me up from Clarendon and put me on the plane and take me and give me some gear. I ran track for Jamaica and myself. 5 Olympics, 8 World Championships. I did not go on a free trip. So guess what? I didn't go to get a backpack. I didn't go to get a black, green, and gold top to wear without working hard for it, on the track. And if it wasn't for us, the old and the new, you wouldn't be in that place. There wouldn't be a J3s in the first place. What were you going to govern? Yourself? So let us speak. I'm not saying, for example, the current election that just went on, I'm not saying you shouldn't, the guard that won shouldn't be the president. I'm saying let everybody vote, and if Donald loses the election, then fine, we have to live with it, right? Don't tell us we can't vote. Don't tell me you couldn't change stuff because it's a pandemic. You have months to do it. So, but there is a plan of action as always. Now, tell me that that didn't change. Show me show us, because it's a lot of us who are here wondering what happened that we couldn't vote from overseas. It's like you could have made a change for us to vote. You just know if we vote, then maybe something would have changed. Maybe I know my one vote wouldn't change it, but I mean, Donald is a 76 Olympic gold medalist. Give him a chance. Let us vote. Who said I was going to vote for Donald in the first place? We just want to vote.
well, well, you guess what? Guess what? I'm Sandy. You have just touched on some topics right there. As I said, I'm not a athlete, so I know little what is going on in the J3A Olympic Federation, whatever you have. I don't even know the name of it. But what I'm saying, just the other day, me and Ian, we would have interviewed President, I don't know, elect to be whatever for the JTA, Jamaica Teachers Association.
Yes.
And they would have allowed people overseas, once you're active member, to
Yes.
vote. Even if you're overseas, you could cast your vote. And this is kind of strange if you're saying that, I don't know, if you're a member and you're overseas, you were not able to vote.
Yeah. I, Okay, so
It's crazy.
yeah, I'm I mean I'm at loss for words, so to speak. There's a lot of us here who would like to just exercise our right. Okay, they said if you don't vote, you don't have a voice, right? So I pay my dues in the J trades, and I wanted to vote, and I asked, and I heard it was the bylaws, and so for the bylaws, if you go to the court, they can make an exemption for us to have online voting, however you want to do it. But you weren't interested in the first place because you already have your mind made up. Okay, so the person that won has been in the J Trace for years, over 20 years. I hope I'm right with the number. And there was no changes made, right? There's no changes. So how is change going to made with that same person elevating himself up? I don't see how the changes are going to be made
Well,
because we were there all this time and there was no changes that were looked. We want transparency and inclusion. You know, the Olympian, the past Olympians, want to be involved so we can do what's right for those kids who are coming up behind us to succeed.
well,
Involve us.
I believe in everyone should be given the right to vote, to exercise a right. So to hear that you guys weren't able to vote, that is kind of sad, especially with the pandemic. 'Cause with the pandemic,
Yeah,
there have been a lot of changes just to accommodate even student learning online. They have make a lot of changes to accommodate these things. So right now, I know it would be difficult if you would have to pack up and go to Jamaica with all these quarantine. Probably you go down there, you wouldn't be able to vote. So,
yeah.
because they're gonna tell you that you should be quarantined, you
No
can't
people
present.
flew from New York to vote. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so online should definitely be factored in, especially if the Jamaica Teachers Association can do this. They are the
Yes.
educators of the country,
Mhm.
and they were able to do this. Because I had Winston on the other day, Winston Smith, and he told us the whole system. He was telling them they had up to 12 o'clock the night before to vote online, and which would have given.
That was a fair and just system.
Yeah, it would have given the people who are overseas, who to tell you may just came up here for vacation and get trapped with the whole COVID situation and everything, and the whole fear of just showing up in person. I would fear showing up in person
Yeah.
to cast my vote or ballot or whatever, however they
So you
do it.
know what that tells us? We're not elevating ourselves enough, so we couldn't do that. With all the money and all the glory that we have over the years. We should be way above that. We should be able to have people vote online. That means nothing has changed. Nothing
Yes,
has
sir.
changed. It's a good old boys club.
Well, I would say with you, nobody can throw anything at me. And I would say we need some new blood there.
There is. No, but the thing is, we do, and we also need to include the people that know what athletics is. I mean, you're a principal of a high school. How are you going to run the J trades? And because you're saying Donald lives in California, so what? You can a lot of Fortune 5 company is one place and run it in another place. Okay,
No, this
like it can be done. So that's a cop out for you to say Donald living in he's a principal of a high school. You have to do that too. So it's the same, and Donald, you see, if Donald is the president of the J3s and we go to overseas and all those people see Donald, it says a lot. It gives us some prestige because he's down
definitely.
foreign.
Definitely. I think too much politics is involved in our
Yeah.
Jamaican sports. As I say,
Hmm.
not just athletics, but cricket, soccer, and all that stuff. We also have on here, and that's why I give thanks for this program because we have interviewed another senior coach in soccer that was helping even with the Jamaica Reggae Boys. And
Hmm.
he would have said money went in the system, and before you know it, money is missing without nothing being done. Players being sidelined because they don't come from a certain area, so forth. We see it in the cricket, as I said. We that this I can speak of. We have
Hmm.
players would have been told that guess what, you're not playing for Jamaica. And that's
Yeah.
just sad. If somebody, is talented enough, go to the trials, perform well, they should be given a fair chance, and there should be a system that is fair and give each person equal rights instead of just having human being taking position and using
Yeah.
their power to stop
Mhm.
somebody's future, or just to stop the ethical pathway, the way it should run. It is sad. So I really kind of feel sad about that part, that overseas athletes weren't able to vote because of this. I'm just gonna put it over to Ian because he may have more to share. He's an athlete.
Come on, Ian.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say that that I do believe that everyone should have their voice to vote. I think that if that wasn't the option, then nothing shouldn't go on. I mean, it's not, if you can't have people not able to vote and they're not able to travel, that's kind of a tough situation because and to say that you nothing can't be done, is
So what I'm calling on the present federation to do now is to make that change within the is 4 years. You have show us transparency that you're going to make a change. So next election we can vote if we can't get there, and you need to let us know that. I mean, we're talking. I am speaking out. I don't know who else is speaking, but I'm speaking out because we need change, and the change is put it in the, start doing that so we could have, the right to vote if I'm alive in the next 4 years. So we can vote in who we think can do, the job we want to see done. Not that the guard is not going to do the job he said he's going to do, but we want to be able to be a part of the voting system to make change if there is change need to be made.
Yep. Well, as I said, guys, this is something that again, especially a year like this year, with how things are going, I know that, and we this got to get looked into because, as I said,
Yeah.
we know that there's a lot of athletes that's still not based in Jamaica, and so we're into new times now. I know what the bylaw says, but I think this just got to get up to the agenda, and I don't know what's the
Yeah, they need
procedure.
to bring up the bylaws and open it up so we can make that one change because not all of us stay at home. We're here, we're working, we have a job here. A lot of us would love to move back home and live, but we're here. You know what I mean? And we're working and we're making our life. So, hey, I got
You
my
should
Jamaican
able
hat.
to vote. I mean, even if you live in Jamaica,
Yeah,
you still should able to vote. Not going to, if I live
and
in Westmoreland and I
yeah.
can't make it to
Take it
Kingston.
to Kingston. And the funniest thing is one of my past athletes spoke to some of the people that vote and they were told, oh, Donna live in California. Why don't vote for him? He can't do nothing for the J-Trace. Come on, you don't influence people like that.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
influence people. That was the lobbying for the other president. That's how they get people to vote for the other president because they said he can't do nothing for Come on, let people make up their own mind.
Yeah.
And if you have Gart as the president, at least Anthony should have been elected.
Yeah.
He's a former Olympian. How can you lobby against Olympians and I mean, what is in it for you to lobby against an Olympian? There's something in it for you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Totally
sad.
agree.
And I'm calling names because so it was said that Marvin Anderson is the OLY Olympic athletes president, the athletes president. You went to lobby against another Olympian. That's so cold, man. That's cold. You let the chip fall where they may. Let us vote. If he loses the election, then fine. You know what I mean? That's fine. You got to take it and move on.
Yeah.
You're not going to determine that he can't do it from abroad. How you know that? How do you know that?
Sandy. what since you said not do it from abroad, but as I know, a lot of the meets are abroad. Not everything is taking place in Jamaica. You gotta fly for a lot of it.
Yeah, you need to put somebody in there with some background in accounting and somebody who don't want none of the back background money and use that to build a foundation so these kids can learn to read and write better so they can have a choice. That's how you keep the legacy of track and field in Jamaica going for a long time. You if I wasn't there, I don't know what we'll do for the, you know what I mean? They're the backbone of the high school championships. Because hey, as Prana went on TV and said, hey, as long as the J3s stay out of our way and don't bother us, that's so low. You can pick that apart in so many ways. That's sad. You can pick that apart in so many ways. How can you have a top coach in Jamaica that had to say that about the federation? Because you don't have no respect for them.
Well, I'm
All
happy that you're retired.
Yeah, because
right,
I was going to wear, right?
all right, all right. I know we're in the last segment now, and I just have one or two things I want to go over real quick, but well, yeah, we just want to make sure that we get this included. Sandy, I know that it's gonna be hard. I'm trying to see which one should I talk about because I want to talk. This is pretty much one of the best day of life, one of the best day of your life. Um, you know, we're going to end on that note. We know that you have making the vows in Jamaica, and we wanted to know how important was that for you to get to exchange vow in Jamaica.
Oh boy. Okay, so the main reason why I took you to Jamaica is because I wanted my sisters there. And as you know, not all of them have a visa, or so to speak. So I wanted them to be a part because they've been there for me all my life. I mean, I have a sister who just turned 50 yesterday, and she's my ace, you know. And I have it's seven of us, as I said. My brother got shot and killed a few years back, so it's just all girls left. So I wanted people that who has been there for me to partake in my wedding, right? Because I said I wasn't gonna get married. So here we go. They're like, what? You're gonna get married? Because I'm like, I'm not getting married ever, because I didn't really want to get married. I was okay. But I mean, when I said that, I wanted to see it's real. I really did get married. I was there. So I invited people, and most of them were live in Jamaica who have, encouraged me and stood by me through bad and good, mostly my family.
All right. And I just wanted to point out that I came across and we talked about Miss Terry Crawford, how much it mean to you. What was it mean to you to see people that's, even from the United States that's actually mentor you, help you, just give you good advice? How did that make your day feel easy?
Well, Terry, I should start with Terry. Terry was like, "Do you really need to get married? You can just live apart and date." So you should just stay in your house and he stays in. You don't need to get married. That was Terry's take on it. And I said, "Well, Terry, you tried it before, so I'm gonna try it now." And they just, you're right. But she was against me getting married for real. But Terry's like my mom. Just I think God don't make mistakes, and when she came into my life, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And not because the University of Texas or whatever, she treated me like a daughter. She called her daughter, and I call her mom. So this is the relationship we have. And I told her when she gets older, because she don't have any kids, so I'm going to be the one taking care of her. So that's the kind of love we have for each other. So it was only fitting for me to have her give me to my two sisters, because I didn't want to leave anyone out that I love dearly. So I figured I would have an unorthodox wedding. Like Terry walking me up to my sisters, and my sisters go to the, and everybody in the audience gave me away. So, they said, who give Sandy away? They all said, we do. So those were my peeps. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go on the record and I said, because time has gone by so fast.
Yeah.
I do believe that was 4 years ago.
Yeah. It was only 4 years ago.
And I thought I just heard that you got married last year, but when I
No,
looked at the
it's 4
date,
years. November 5th was 4 years ago.
yeah, yeah. So time is going by. Well, enjoy the good life. You deserve it. You know, you've been doing everything, and you still got things to do. So congratulations. Enjoy the good life, and I say. So in terms of your track and field, oh, what are you doing anything now just to share your talent? I know I said you're mentoring or you're coaching. Are you
Well,
doing
I'm doing both. I have my job that I have in the day takes a lot of my time. Sometimes I get off at 6:30, so it's kind of tough to leave. Yeah, and that's my source. But I coach some high school kids because they come to me for extra training, and now that the pandemic is going on, so I get them full time for now. I coach Scarlett's daughter because Scarlett says she can't coach her because mother can't coach daughter, so to speak. So I'm
yeah,
coaching three young ladies who have potential to get. Scarlett's daughter get offer from the Air Force Academy full scholarship in track, and UT and LSU and A&M. They're all 'cause she's really talented. So I'm gonna steer her along that way. I have Javon Francis is here in us, and I'm like his big sister, so I'm trying to see if he can make a comeback into somewhere by, talking to him mental, getting his mental state back on track for that. So he's here. So I try to do my best by giving back a little bit to to anywhere I can. Yeah, so the coaching part is the best part of my day anyway. So I
okay.
look forward to going to the track and implementing the workout. So yeah.
All right. And I can't get off this program without mentioning that you was recognized to be the Order of Distinction for Jamaica, and I know that's got to be an honor. I'm very happy and very was happy to see and to know that you has been recognized for all the hard work you have done. Actually, to me, as I say, you're a legend. And I know this is just a title or what you want to call it. I know that you're still the girl from Clarendon,
Yeah,
as we see right here, right
yeah.
now. But just tell us what did that how did you feel about being rewarded for all your track accomplishment from Jamaican government?
Again, it was an honor. It's like that's so you're finally recognized that you did something worthwhile. So for I know it's not everybody gets it. So I took it close to my and dear to my heart that the government of Jamaica chose me in that to give me the order of distinction. I think it's a great honor, and I will always hold it close and dear to my heart. It's just something you can't put words on. You just have to cherish it every day. You know you have that.
Okay. So let me ask you, with this order of distinction, do you literally have to go to Jamaican Heroes Weekend or something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have the functions, and you go to Jamaica House, and you stay on the stage, and they call your name out, and that's yeah. And the pin, they give you a pin, and it's like a ribbon and a little triangle symbol on it, and I still have it and locked up somewhere.
All right, all right. I'm gonna have to request a letter of recommendation from you, Sandy.
Somebody has recommended me, and Pat Anderson, you remember he was the J3 president at one
Yeah.
time, and he
Yeah.
recommended me, and they said, yes, it's fitting and nice, so I got it.
Yep, 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 yep. I want to touch on something here real quick. I remember reading about there was supposed to be a track or a stadium down there in Clarendon that you were
Yeah,
supposed to be a part of. Is that
yeah,
still
it
in the
was,
work? What's this?
it was Minister Mike Henry's idea, along with Herb McKinley, because Herb McKinley is from Clarendon. We look at tracks. We were trying to get money, and it just seems like it fell through. They have the area to put the track, um, um, the area to put the track, and it didn't materialize. So yeah.
All right. All right. Thanks for the update with that. Over to you, Ian. Your final words.
All right. So in closing here, Sandy, and I just want to close it out just the way you would say it, because I've listened to you, and you are just a down to earth person. You always refer to your hometown as the little poor girl from Clarendon. But I just want to say the top athlete or champion athlete now from Clarendon who have carried the flag for Jamaica, and you have carried it proud. You have made us all proud. You know, I just want you to share with our audience or even our young athletes, who may just look at this career path and they know in themselves that guess what, one day they want to become a champion athlete. May not be like you with 5 Olympic games behind your name, because that's not easy. That's gonna be a tough one. But just the dream to aspire to be an Olympian. What would be your message to such an athlete? And a message to even just our audience that may be going through tough times tonight.
It's like there's always going to be failure along the road, but don't stop trying. You can't get to your goals without failures. So the failures doesn't mean you stop trying, right? Because everything doesn't, nothing is just going to come in a straight line. There's always bumps and curves and, along the way, but you just, you just have to just keep chugging along, surround yourself with positive people, some motivational people, and keep going until you reach your goal. Disappointment doesn't mean the road has ended, because everybody goes through disappointment, even the Olympic champions, the Olympic silver medalists, the Olympic finalists, every world championships, everybody goes through failures before they get to where they want to go. So never give up because you failed the first time.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of Ian and Ian, I know Ian gonna say something else. I just want to say we really appreciate you taking the time out to just be on the program. As we say, the little program that will grow from strength to strength, that will grow each day. When we started, we did not see how much fun we were gonna have on here. We did
Yeah,
not see all the caliber of people that we'll be bringing on here that would be able to inspire, educate, and uplift another soul, another
you
member.
guys hearing me?
Yeah, but
Okay.
as we are going on each day, we just realize that God is God and He's in control of this program, and
Very
we're
much.
just happy to have you on here tonight, that you were able to come on and share with us your journey. And as I say, we are proud of you. You're one great Jamaican athlete who have made us proud over the years, and we just ask that you continue to walk in your greatness, because we know the chapter has not been closed yet. I know. So we're looking for greater things, and just keep us abreast as you go through life. But we'll be following you. All right. So just have
Thank you
a
so
great
much.
one.
And I was going to ask how you guys met and develop this program because it's a great idea. It's doing well. So how you guys met? Can I ask
Well,
that question?
all right, I'll just say this to you. First thing, both of us went to St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Ian would have been my senior in high school.
Okay.
So I probably only met him for 1 year, there at
Okay.
Stets. I think he graduated 93. That's the same year I was leaving. I came in when he was leaving. But what happened, Ian and my brother shared room or house, boarding. When you're going out, you're boarding.
Yeah.
Both of them did athletics. So my brother was boarding in Santa Cruz. Ian was there because he's from Montego Bay. And
Okay.
one weekend they would have, decided that he would, come to the south side of St. Elizabeth. So I'm living in the south. And my brother would have carried Ian along with him. So little did I know that this athlete plays some cricket because I'm a cricketer.
Oh,
So, so it was very fun to have him that weekend. We brought him to the cricket field and he hit that ball so far we could hardly find the ball in those bushes. He
yeah.
probably don't even remember it, but he was a very good cricketer, a very good sport, and
Yeah.
the people in my area really fall in love with Ian. My mother, love him, and he didn't return to South because I said it wasn't a long time between them there. But I say that he inspired us all, in terms of his athletic career. We'll start to follow him now. Whenever we hear the name Ian Wheatley, you're like, yeah, I know that guy. And
Yeah.
so, recently I've gotten active on my Facebook page and I was just bringing on people from the high school, my past and a student, and just do a little 15 to half an hour interview. And I actually asked Ian if he would come on. And he said, of course. And he came on and we did a little interview. And after the interview, he would have called me and say, Ian, that was pretty much inspiring. I think we should do something together.
Yeah.
And there was that's where it was birthed, this Ian and Ian. So both of us named Ian. Only thing is that mine is spelled with a E in
Yeah.
front of yeah. So that's the difference. And God would have had it that way. And I'm telling you, the journey been a good one. And we really appreciate each and every one that have graced this platform thus far. We really appreciate our audience who've been following us. And we have seen where the platform is growing from strength to strength. And as we go each week, the Lord will just be adding the right people. Let's put it this way. It's the right people that He bring along. And
Yeah.
we just look to continue doing, along and according to His will.
Yeah.
But we know that definitely you guys come on here and you ace it, in terms of everybody that comes on here would just share just their journey. You know, your journey alone is enough to inspire somebody else. And
Yeah.
we
Sure.
realize that, even though we have such glorious time when we see you guys go on the podium, collect the medal, finish first, second, or third, gold, silver, bronze, and we celebrate with you guys. But then to just see you guys come on and share that journey, and we realize that guess what? You guys are just regular people who had challenges, had to
Mm-hmm.
go through the ups and the downs. But guess what? You guys were disciplined enough to stick to it, and you were willing to do whatever it takes to make you guys into the person you are today, into the champions that we get to celebrate with. So it's really good that you guys are able to deliver for us when you guys come on, and we're just proud to have you all. I'm happy
Thank
for
you.
you and
Thank you for having me.
yeah.
All right, Ian.
All right, Sandy. I'm not going to say anything more than thank you for spending in the last 2.5 hours with us. And we want to wish you all the best in everything that you're doing. And just keep I know that you have inspired and you have done so much for track and field. So I want to thank you for help paving the way for us and for many generation. And we just want to keep you uplift and just keep do what you can. I know your time is finished, but you have a lot more in store to give to the track and field world and to help young athletes in the world. So, even if it's a friend, a neighbor,
Yeah, for sure.
all right.
All
So,
right. Thank you so much. You guys
all
have a
right,
good week.
all right, all
All
right.
right.
Thank you. All right, bye bye.
Bye.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Bye.